Welcome to the episode of Locked In. In this episode, this is going to be my review of the Giro cylinder mountain bike shoe. If you're looking for an affordable cycling shoe for gravel, cross, or mountain biking that has a BOA style system for an affordable price point, please stay tuned. So in this review, I'm going to be going over the specs, features, and weight of the shoe, as well as price, and my final thoughts after about a year of ownership. Little disclaimer, Giro did not send me these, I purchased these. So the specs and features. The main thing for shoes in general is you're going to basically have two classes of shoe. Most of your entry-level mountain bike or road shoes are going to have just your plain Velcro style for all three straps. Now, I'm not a big fan of those. I really like the BOA system. This just makes it so easy to quickly and evenly cinch down your shoe. So I definitely wanted a BOA system with my gravel shoes. I have had lace-ups before, but I really wanted this because I do actually really enjoy the fit benefit, especially when in gravel or riding, since you are on and off the bike, hiking more. And I just think this is easier as far as a fit retention system in that scenario. Now that is definitely a personal preference, but let's get into the shoe's construction. Now, this is an affordable shoe with the BOA system, and that's really what in general I was looking for. I didn't need the lightest or the stiffest thing out there because, again, when you're gravel or cross racing like I am, you're on and off the bike. So I actually like a slightly softer shoe as far as the sole goes, so that there's a little bit more flex there when you are having to hike a bike, basically. So as far as weight goes, you can see here what these weighed on my scales for one shoe, and for the full set, keep in mind this is weighed with hardware, so I do have Shimano SPDs, so keep that in mind. That is adding grams over the factory said weight. And for reference, this is in a size 44. Now for these shoes, they do offer a high volume version. Basically, that's what Giro calls essentially their wide version. So if you do have a wider foot, you do have an option even at this price point. And as far as BOA systems, this is what they call their L6 style BOA. Basically what that means is it goes one direction to tighten, and to loosen, you actually pull it, and the shoe completely comes open very easily. There is a pro and a con to this that I'll get into in my final thoughts, but it's not the other BOA that you do see on typically even higher end shoes that basically will ratchet both directions to tighten and loosen them. And you do have holes if you do want to add shoe spikes. I didn't, I just left this flat hardware in here, but you do have that option as well. It is a rubber sole, and I really like the grooved grippy section in between, so that if you do miss the pedal, you have something to kind of grip onto so your foot isn't going to slide. And also, usually this section gets so scratched up it looks terrible anyway. This is just a kind of a nice look. And lastly, you can see the amount of venting on the top to keep your foot nice and cool on those hot, long rides. So let's get into price. These shoes are $150. I think that's kind of a sweet spot as far as a name brand shoe because it has the BOA style system. There are a few other companies that do make a similar option with the BOA. I've really liked Giro products in general. I've really liked their bibs and their other apparel, so I gave them a shot on their shoes, and I'm very, very happy with them. So lastly, let's get into my final thoughts. What did I like and dislike about these shoes? Essentially, I really liked the fact that on hot days, they're extremely comfortable because of the amount of venting on them. But on the bad side is you do get a lot of dirt that can enter the shoe because of how much mesh is on here. So if it's colder around you or you have that issue already, this shoe is going to let a lot of stuff in. So you're more likely going to need to run shoe covers if it's a really bad weather day or there's a lot of dust or dirt where you're riding. You may want to run a shoe cover. Next, the BOA system. I love and hate this system. I love it because it's so easy to basically get out of the shoes at the end of the ride because it's basically one click and you're out, no problem. But you cannot finely adjust while riding. You can only make it tighter. So unlike an old pair of S-Work shoes I used to have where I could adjust them basically while coasting, you cannot do that with this system, and that is the one big letdown I have about these shoes in general. Next, the insoles. They are a more affordable shoe, so they don't come with a premium insole. I need to ride with a higher insole, so I have a set of specialized high footbeds in here. The stock footbeds are like any other brand that are just flat. They do not come with a footbed that has a adjustable option like some higher end shoes. As far as weight, these are kind of hefty. That is definitely one thing I have noticed when I've tried out other shoes that are lighter. You can definitely feel a little bit more of the heft, but they've been pretty robust. And you can see here in the heel, this is how much wear I've had after about a year, if not more, of owning these and riding them pretty regularly. So they've actually held up really well, and I've definitely crashed in these, and they still aesthetically held up, and they're pretty durable. So this would be a pair of shoes that I would definitely recommend to somebody who's looking for a nicer shoe than your all Velcro shoe, but doesn't want to spend a ton of money or break the bank on some $300 or $400 high-end shoes. They are definitely a little bit weightier, but they are extremely comfortable. But just keep in mind, depending on what climate you're running, you might want to run a less vented shoe if it's typically colder where you're at, or if it does rain a lot. You're going to want something that probably gives you a little bit more coverage, and Giro also offers shoes like that. I would definitely recommend getting a nicer insole in there, but I pretty much recommend that unless you're buying a $300 to $400 shoe, which comes typically with a premium adjustable insole. So that would be a definite upgrade depending on what you need in your day-to-day walking around shoes. So hope you like this episode. Please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel and turn notifications on so you can see my weekly cycling content. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram for my regular cycling content that I put out on there. And thanks for watching another episode of Locked In.
Let's get locked into